Good morning, everyone. I am Mark Despotakis. I am the Director of Public and Government Affairs for the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association. PMEA is a statewide nonprofit organization of over 3,600 members, representing those engaged in music instruction at all levels, from preschool through colleges and universities, as well as retired educators, college students majoring in music education, and those in the music products industry. One of PMEA's goals is to strengthen music education and the music education profession in Pennsylvania. We're here on March 1st to kick off a month-long celebration of music education. March is Music in Our Schools Month. And nearly every day this month, right here in the Capitol, you'll find ensembles from across the Commonwealth performing right here in this space, as well as in the East Wing. As you hear these students perform, we hope you remember how many years of practice and hard work brought them to where they are today. These students are an example of how strong music education is in Pennsylvania. Following our remarks this morning, you'll see the first group performing this month from Council Rock right here in this space. And we do have a full schedule of performances for the month at our table if you want to see those. So we come here to this building, one of the most beautiful state capitals in the whole country, to celebrate music and arts education. And we do that in conjunction with policymakers. So today we have some policymakers joining us that are champions of arts education. So to begin our remarks, I would like to introduce State Senator Carolyn Committa to welcome us and to have some remarks. And I should also note, she is a former sousaphone player, so she gets it. She's one of us. She's all about music education. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, friends. I'm State Senator Carolyn Committa. I can't tell you how delighted I am to be here with everyone, kicking off PMEA Music Advocacy Day. And in addition to playing sousaphone, and you'll hear this in my remarks, I was also in the Downingtown High School concert choir. I did all the musicals. I played violin in the elementary orchestra, and so on. So I'm all about music, and I am so delighted. Music, theater, the arts, all of it. So again, thank you so much, each of you, for being here today. I want to thank all of the music teachers and educators from PMEA who are here with us today, not to mention our students. I want to give, again, a big shout out to my alma mater, Downingtown High School, the Mighty Whippets, who are here today. And Downingtown Middle School. Amazing that they are all here today. Welcome. We are thrilled to have all of our students joining us today so that you can showcase your talents. You are a testament to the importance of music education in Pennsylvania. I also want to thank my legislative colleagues for your support of music education. Representative Pashinsky is here. Thank you for your support. Representative Cerisi is here. Thank you for your support. Music man, theater man of the House of Representatives. As I mentioned, I am a product of music education in our public schools. I played, as you heard, the sousaphone in the school band, marching band, that is brass sousaphone. No plastic sousaphone for me. I appeared in the annual music, they didn't have them then. was the reason. I played the violin in the school orchestra and sang, as I said, in the concert choir. So I know just how hard our students and our teachers work, and I also know what a joy and a delight it is to be playing and making music together. I was also a classroom teacher in the Octorara School District. PMEA's president is an Octorara school teacher, and I was delighted to say hello to him today. I saw firsthand how music and art education benefited my students, so I know just how important these programs are. Now, as a state senator, it is my pleasure to pay it forward, as they say, in support of music and art education in Pennsylvania. I continue to support the funding and the resources for these invaluable programs. I am thrilled to join you as we kick off our celebration of March 2023 as, are you ready? 4 things we're celebrating this month: Music in Our Schools Month, Theater in Our Schools Month, Dance in Our Schools Month, and Youth Art Month here in Pennsylvania. Studies show that engagement in arts education has a positive impact in many, many ways. Has a positive impact on student discipline, test scores, and building compassion and empathy for others. Music and art education also help develop important skills like teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking. You all know this because you're doing it every day. These skills are integral to success in school, in work, and in life. It is also a healthy outlet for self-expression, a way we can connect with others, and an opportunity to practice and embrace mindfulness. Please know that I will continue to support you in the legislature, and one of those top priorities is the reinstatement of an arts content advisory in the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Yes, that deserves a round of applause. We are going to work hard to bring that back to the Department of Education and to Pennsylvania. This is an important position that supervises curriculum and standards in music and arts education in the Commonwealth, and it should be funded by the state budget. And next week, Governor Shapiro will be presenting his budget address on Tuesday. Tune in. There will be many important initiatives, and we will be standing proud for music and the arts in our schools. Again, thank you, each of you, for being here today. I've experienced the lasting power of music and arts education as a student, as a teacher, as a lawmaker, as a parent, and a grandparent of soon-to-be 4 granddaughters, little ones. As a grandmother, I know that I want my grandchildren to have the same opportunities that I enjoyed and more. Thank you again so much for being here, for your hard work, for your advocacy. This is one of my favorite days in Harrisburg, one of my favorite months. I look forward to the performances. I wish you joy and delight as you spend your day today celebrating and singing with each other. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Senator Comita, for your leadership and your passion and your support of arts education. So now we'd like to introduce another policymaker who is also a supporter of arts education. I'd like to welcome Representative Eddie Dapashinsky. Not only is he a member of the House, but he's also a former music teacher and still an active musician. He's a great friend of music education, and we are so happy to have him with us. Representative Eddie Dapashinsky.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. And my concern right now is I've never heard the senator play her sousaphone. I just learned that today. So how many of you out there play a sousaphone? Then you'll never become a senator. I can't tell you how excited I am every March when you all come down to the Capitol and share your talent, bring joy to all the people that work here. And believe me, there's times we definitely need that music and that joy. The senator said so many wonderful things, and I think it's a product of this magnificent thing called music. Because what does music do? What does music do in our lives? Well, for some people, it just relaxes us. For some people, it's exciting. It creates emotion. As soon as a beat, as soon as a note, anything happens, the mind begins to stimulate. This is one of the most powerful sources in our lives, and most people don't even realize it. And unfortunately, many of our school districts don't realize you should never cut music, never cut the arts, because that's as important as science or math or anything else. As a former music teacher and as a member of PMEA for many, many years, I can tell you that this magic of music and art and dance and theater are the key to our success, our lives, the enjoyment, and our mental stability. Because there are times we need that music to relax us. The senators did a wonderful job of explaining why we need music, all of the things that are important about it, and I can't wait to hear all of the performances that are going to be here in the Capitol through the month of March. I want to thank PMEA. I want to thank all of you that will be performing today. I can't wait. And I want to present on behalf of our House of Representatives, Senator Comita, and Representative Cerisi. Would you all come out here? And Mark, you want to bring whoever else you want?
Stand on this side.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. So we have a citation here on behalf of the members of the House of Representatives, the governor, Senator Comita, to say how much we admire, how much we respect all of the good work that you do. If I can read just a moment. Music is a natural phenomenon which captures every human emotion by producing a series of pitches, sounds, and rhythms, and creating a response of joy, sorrow, excitement, or pride. Music is naturally therapeutic for the mind and body, and it is vital for people to deal with the challenges of life. Virtually every society known to man, virtually every society known to man has identified some form of music as an element of daily life. It is the key to our sanity. It is the key to our joy. And I want you guys to keep on working at this, because one of you here today will be a state rep or a state senator. You may have to play the sousaphone. So, Representative Cerisi, Senator Comita, and myself present this to you. If you come on over here, guys.
Yes. How's that? Wonderful. My grandma.
You want to take that photo?
Did your kids play too?
Not sousaphone. Violin and piano.
Oh.
And now it's going to give me a great pleasure to introduce one of my other comrades, one of my colleagues. By the way, in my life, I played piano, I sang in the choir, and I don't have my outfit on, but I do have a rock band. I know that may not seem possible, but my hair was longer, and I definitely played some rock stuff. In any case, someone who is an outstanding performer in the theater arts, Representative Cerisi, and I've seen him perform. We have sung together as colleagues for various events here in the Capitol. I would like him to share some thoughts with you as well. Representative Cerisi.
Thank you. Thank you. As you can see, I have no written notes because even as a performer, I never go by the script. I call it a guide. So anyone that's ever directed me in a show goes crazy with that. I want to thank my colleagues who are both here in the House for being musicians and performers and knowing what the arts means. The arts saved my life. If it wasn't for the arts, I would have never been where I am or anywhere. I was the third child of an Italian family who was not educated, and my mother was a singer, so I knew every standard by the time I was 10 years old, and I began to sing, which wasn't popular. Grew up in New York, you may be able to hear that in my accent. But I got a full ride to college because I could sing. And that brought me to everywhere else that I've gone in my life, and even here to the State House, because I could perform. It gave me the opportunity. I loved choir. And I know the kids standing behind me are hating standing there, knowing that they got to sing in a minute and all their knees are buckling and they're going, is he going to shut up? Because I was one of those kids, when an adult spoke for 20 minutes, you're going, are we going to get to the performance or what? But these are the moments in your life. My choir friends and my band friends, I'm still good friends with them. We grew up together, we grew together. Music is a universal language. Now, I've been blessed that I've gone in different places in the world and performed. And I couldn't speak the language, but when we opened our mouth to sing, we all spoke one language. There was no war, there was no who didn't like who, there was no political talk. It was one language. You are embarking on an area that you should hold for the rest of your life. Whether you continue to sing, you continue to play an instrument, you continue to perform, this is something that you can go and take your children to. My son is 24. My son chose not to sing because it wasn't popular. We bought him a piano. It wasn't popular to play, like his father, who was on the stage all the time playing roles that people laugh at him, and also here at the Capitol, they laugh at me all the time, but that's normal, especially you, Mike. But he turned to me about a year ago and said, I should have done it, Dad. I should have sang. Because he's got perfect pitch. I got third cousin pitch. I can't find the note. I'm like, I don't know where it is. Sight reading to me was like, this is hell. I don't know what I'm doing it for, but I got to do it. But he said, I should have continued to play the piano. I should have continued to perform. Because it's something that you carry through for the rest of your life. Know that here in Harrisburg, and I just want you all to know what's going on upstairs. You hear that echo that's going upstairs? Upstairs, they're talking about facilities and funding schools and facilities. Music is essential, as the senator referred to have in every building. But not just to have a music program, but to have the facilities that you need to support the marching band with instruments that work and that are modern. To not buy a piano that looks like a grand piano but is in a Steinway or a Yamaha, that when you play it, it's a tinker toy as opposed to an instrument that you could perform with. To have a music library that doesn't only have the classics but has the modern music and the Broadway music. This is what we should be talking about when we fund education properly, and we should never, ever, ever cut the arts. The arts. Come on, you performers. How would you like the audience to applaud? The arts is as essential as sports is in our buildings, as math is, as science is. How many of you want to go on to major in music? What? Don't be afraid, don't be shy. All right, there you go. So like I said, I was a vocal performance major, and then I switched to the music of business. How many of you will take music in college? Everybody should raise your hand. A music appreciation class. You should all be in a music appreciation class, whether you like rock and roll or classical. It's extremely important. I want to thank all the music teachers who are here today who have been dedicated to our children. All of you and the parents. My parents went to so many performances that their head would stand on end. My father was a true Brooklyn Italian whose family came from Sicily, had a son that would sing, had no clue what a theater was. I'm going to share with this all of you because it's a funny story. I went to my sister's engagement party in full show makeup. And people looked at me like, what just walked in the room? In 1986, I was teen angel in Greece, and I had pancake on, eye mascara, I had it all on. But my whole career, I've been able to still perform, still sing, and Eddie is a hell of a performer. You should hear him. When is your next show, Eddie? August? You do the big show? He is a great performer. He's one of those doo-wop guys who has lasted through time and will continue to last. Carolyn, I haven't heard her play the sousaphone yet, but I'm sure now that we know she's gonna have to bring it here. But I want to thank you all again for being here. I'm looking forward to what are you guys singing, by the way?
In remembrance.
What?
A lot of songs.
A lot of songs. All right, a lot of songs. Yeah. Okay, Joe, enough. Shut up and get off the podium. We want to sing. I look forward to hearing you all. And again, please be advocates for public education. Don't ever allow your school boards to cut the music program or your arts program, or for that, the sports programs. You are not enemies of athletics. You are complements of athletics, and you should be hand in hand, especially the marching band. They came out to see our marching band more than they came out to see our football team when I was growing up. So thank you all. Thank you for your support of the arts. I want to thank my colleagues in the House and the Senate for their support, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Yeah, our thanks to Representative Cerisi, Representative Plashinsky, and Senator Comita for all that they have done for arts education and certainly the passion that they have shared with us today. So today, music education advocates are visiting with legislators and their staff members both in person and virtually to talk about the importance of music education programs and to address some specific policy issues. They're telling the important story of the value of music education, but also the way music education is a key piece of the education puzzle for all students. I always like to remind people that the music educators don't teach their students with the end goal that all of them will become professional musicians. Rather, the goal is to create students that have a lifelong interest in music in some form and to instill their interest in being part of our shared culture. And I think the representatives that spoke today speak to that value. So while we're here today and this month to celebrate music education, we're also here to address some specific policy issues with decision makers. So I'm going to briefly discuss some of those. You can find out more about all of them on our website at advocacy.pmea.net. So we come to Harrisburg to ask decision makers in this building to continue to increase the education funding that is part of the basic education funding subsidy. At one point, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania provided over 50% of funding to school districts. That percentage has significantly dropped over the years, and school districts are required to make up the difference with local tax dollars, which causes a great inequity among school districts. The state's share of total district spending is 38%, which ranks the state 44th in the country. The national median is 47%. When the state does not pay its share, a burden and pressure is put on schools and communities to make up the difference and fund their school through property taxes. The great inequity of tax bases across Pennsylvania creates funding inequities. Providing more dollars to schools distributed through a fair funding formula is a starting point to remove funding barriers at the local level. And it's important to note in the discussion about funding schools that while some may view music education as costly, a recent NAM Foundation study found that is not the case. Among key findings were that the average per student spending for music programs was $251 when counting all students. On average, districts spend 1.9% of their total operating expenditures on music programs. While music education is relatively inexpensive in the scope of an entire school district budget, it's crucial that schools across Pennsylvania are providing adequate funding so schools do not have to make tough decisions that adversely impact music education programs, staffing, and materials. Beyond the 2023-2024 budget, the General Assembly must provide annual state funding to school districts in amount distributed through a formula that supports the principles of equity, adequacy, accountability, and predictability. And we also ask decision makers to be aware of charter school funding. Charter schools can provide a valuable education for students. However, some charter schools have come under scrutiny for a variety of reasons, including financial mismanagement, receiving more special education dollars than actual incurred costs, and an imbalance in the amount of funding cyber charter schools receive. A serious discussion needs to happen to continue to support charter schools, but in a way that is equitable to charter schools, local education agencies, and taxpayers. Now, throughout all of this, we support the development of well-rounded students that will become well-rounded citizens. For a student to be a well-rounded, we know they will need and want to take a variety of courses within their educational career. There are times when scheduling within a school creates a barrier to a student's full participation in a class. We frequently hear examples of schools where a student uses their lunch period to take a class, and many times that class is a music class, because it's the only way they can take all of the courses that are required or that they want to take. To that end, we are proposing that Pennsylvania offers schools the option to allow for alternative course credit for marching band participation. While that may not completely solve the problem, it is a starting point. There are a variety of ways to implement such a policy change, and we are open to discussion with decision makers and all stakeholders to find a solution. You can learn more about what other states have done in this area on our website at advocacy.pmea.net or picking up some information on the table. Back to the issue of funding, it's also important to us that the state continues to appropriately fund the Pennsylvania state system of higher education. These institutions are home to some of the finest music education programs in the state, and they provide unique opportunities for students. I think we can all agree that we should support future educators, and we can start by appropriately funding the state system. And our final policy ask today is one that was mentioned earlier by Senator Comita. The Pennsylvania Department of Education has been without a full-time arts education advisor after the position was removed from the 2011-2012 budget. This position is vital to educators to help them navigate the ever-changing teaching landscape. Restoring this position is crucial to assist music and arts educators teach our future, the children of our Commonwealth. So policymakers will be presented with all of these priorities today, and we hope they will keep them in mind as we come to the point of discussing this year's budget process, which we know will begin next week. So music education is all about students, and this month you will see students performing nearly every day right here in the Capitol. So we'd like to bring some students up to talk about music. So first I'd like to welcome Madeline Van Voren to the mic. Madeline is an 8th grader at Downingtown Middle School and will be performing right here in this space at noon today. Madeline's going to share why music education is important to her.
Hi, I'm Madeline Van Voren, and I'm an 8th grader at Downingtown Middle School. Did you know when the Titanic was going down, there was an orchestra that played throughout the entirety of it? Did you know the first person to ever go to space sang over the communication device before saying anything else? All of these big moments are happening, and yet music is present. Music has been with people since the dawn of time and continues to make an impact on today's generations. Whether it be singing or playing my instrument, music is my happy place. Think back to when you were a kid in the car singing to the radio. It was fun, right? Maybe you weren't good, but it was still fun. Music is something anyone can make or do. I remember the time I got my first instrument. I couldn't put it down. After my first ever chorus rehearsal, I was just in awe with what people could do with their voices. If I'm not having the best day, or maybe I'm a little stressed, I like to listen to music. The right song can make you happy, but it can also make you sad. To me, music is my tranquility. All kids deserve to have the ability to partake in musical activities at their schools, but sadly, this is not the case everywhere. Vocal ensemble and band days are my favorite encore subjects of the week. I love being able to take a break from the hustle and bustle of my academic day to make music with my friends. I think all kids should be able to have these experiences at their schools too. Last year, I started doing the musical theater program at my school, and that's a whole different level of music. You sing for hours on end, even on the weekends, but it's so much fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. Recently, we just finished our show at my school, and as the curtain started to close, I looked around and I saw tears and sad faces. This is because music brought us together. Music made our relationships stronger. Music helped us all take a break from the outside world and just have fun with one another. So overall, to me, music is happiness, peace, love, friendship, and the thing that makes the world go round. Every kid should be able to feel just as excited about music at their schools as we do in ours.
Thank you so much, Madeline. That was awesome and really does speak to why we're here, the students speaking. And so I'm delighted to bring up another student today. Paige Haltom is an 11th grader at Downingtown West High School, and she is a member of the choir. Paige.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paige Haltom. I'm an 11th grader at Downingtown West High School. So today I wasn't really sure how to start my speech, so I decided that I was going to Google it. So I looked up how to write a speech. I struggled with this because I wanted to encapsulate what music was to me and how it has changed my life. So I looked it up. Here are my steps. Step 1, begin with an overview. Hi, everyone. My name is Paige Haltom, and music has changed my life. I don't know how to explain it in big words, but simply, music is everything to me. It has followed me throughout my life, and I grew up surrounded by music. My mother and father both cannot sing, but love to pretend as if they can. I grew up making synchronized dances to Taylor Swift songs with my sister and forcing our little brother to watch. Music is so much more than just a song playing in the background. It gives emotion and makes people feel. I love music, and it has done so much for me. Step 2, address your audience. Hi. Today, you are here to appreciate the arts and see how much they have made your students and children thrive. Your contribution and support has made students grow and brought them joy in their school. Without the arts, the school would suffer and life would be so dull. It brings light into our days, and people don't realize how much it does brighten our lives. I start my school day with health classes, math classes, English, and history. These are pain-aching classes, but the second I get to choir and see all my friends there, my life and my day gets so much better. You are all causing this. You are the reason people get to have these chances to strengthen their love for music and better their lives as a whole. Step 3, what's the point? The point of this speech, me being here talking and you being here listening, is to remind the people why music is so important and how it affects the individual. Music surrounds my world. From first period hearing the national anthem to the end of the day hearing the alma mater, with your support, we get music daily surrounding us. If you walk down the hall at Downingtown West, you are bound to hear a band member playing or a choir member singing. Music and students surround West, and it brightens our days and lives. Step 4, make it personal. Music has always been a part of my life. I grew up singing karaoke with my mom while watching Disney movies and singing Katy Perry to my grandparents. I still to this day sing to my family to show them my improvements and strides. Step 5, end it quickly. Music has changed my world. I wouldn't be able to do it all without the help of my teachers, counselors, parents, and friends. To put it simply, music is everything to me. Thank you.
Thank you both, and especially thank you, Paige, for using your choir voice to go over the other press conference happening. So these students are certainly evidence of the good things happening in music classrooms across Pennsylvania. And the people making those good things happen are music educators. So now I'd like to introduce Emily Brumbach. Emily chairs PMEA's Advocacy Council, but more importantly is a music educator in the Loyalsock Township School District. Emily?
Good morning. As Mark said, I am here today on behalf of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association and the Advocacy Council. However, my primary job is teaching elementary band and general music at Donald E. Schick Elementary School in Montoursville, Pennsylvania. In my position, I teach 157 students between the ages of 9 and 11 how to make sense out of seemingly random marks on a page and blow air through or strike a carefully constructed object. This is a gross oversimplification, so let me break it down a little bit more. To achieve basic individual levels of performance in elementary band, students must fix their own often habitually bad posture, relearn how to breathe, assemble and disassemble their instrument, support the weight of something that weighs, in some cases, as much as them in a very specific position, learn to read musical pitch and rhythm, manipulate their air and facial muscles simultaneously to produce a characteristic tone, control a mechanical object with their fingers or arms, and learn words in other languages. As I named the first 4th grade concert, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Once the basics are in place, students experience further success as they are encouraged to take responsibility for the rehearsal and at-home practice schedules, be disciplined and not accept good enough, which requires constant critical reflection and perseverance, develop resilience because the truth is there really is no good enough, perform with precision, and talk or play less and listen more. When we combine the mechanical knowledge, technical applications, sound production, management of time, and reading comprehension with a positive mindset, community focus, thinking skills, and interpersonal skills, then we can create music that has the power to move other human beings by reaching into their minds and hearts. Through this process of musical learning, educators have the power to target specific skill development based on a child's unique needs as they prepare a finished product. To better illustrate this, I have elementary band students describe the best part of band at the end of each year. Out of over 500 total responses in my 6 years, the most common favorite memories had little to do with the product and much more to do with the process. From Akaya, my favorite part of band was getting good at hard songs. From Praveen, I love that when I first get a new song to play, I sound terrible playing, but after a while, I sound good, and I love that because it shows me that my hard work can make a difference. From Noah, music gives you the feeling that you've accomplished something, and the best part is sharing music for everyone to enjoy. From Anthony, I was not good and I did not know how to play, but now I feel much more confident. From Ava, my favorite thing about being in band is being able to play instruments with my friends and express my feelings through playing the trombone. From Jackson, my favorite part of band was when someone made a mistake and we learned to keep going. And from Gia, when I hear music, all of my worries wash away. It's like music is a vacuum and it sucks all of the dirt off of me and I am perfect again. Each of these students has their own unique background, their own special skills, their own weaknesses, but each of them is actively becoming a better human being as a direct result of their involvement in school music. It lets them learn about themselves, understand some of their most complicated feelings, become an engaged citizen, and prepare for and address some of life's biggest challenges. It gives them an opportunity to be a part of something that is bigger than themselves. Despite all of the benefits, the most memorable response to me as an educator was made by Estella, who shared that she is very happy to have the privileges that she has had, which allowed her to participate in school music. If 10-year-olds can recognize privilege, that means they can recognize a lack of privilege as well. A lack of privilege may look like a student who can't participate in music class because their family can't pay for summer school and they don't have room in their schedule without that option. It may look like when a student can't register for band or orchestra because they can't afford to buy or rent an instrument. It also may look like when a student receives lower quality instruction from an educator who doesn't receive consistent, high quality professional development in their content area. These issues are what PMEA is asking the legislature, the governor, PDE, and the State Board of Education to address through equitable funding and adequate policy support for the well-rounded education of every student. Making music is a profoundly human experience, not a special opportunity limited to privileged populations. As a result, a school that is unable to provide comprehensive access to music education for each student is less whole, less human, less valuable, and less complete. Fixing this problem should start with all of us here at the state level. To conclude, I'd like to acknowledge that the only reason that I am standing here today is because I was lucky enough for my name to be pulled out of a hat and selected for a school-owned instrument assignment as a 4th grade student in the state of Pennsylvania. Moving forward, we can do better than relying on privilege and luck for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Really excellent points, and love to hear those student quotes that you had. So today we're also delighted to have with us Scott Sheehan. Scott teaches in the Hollidaysburg Area School District, but he is also currently serving as the president of the National Association for Music Education. Scott?
How are we doing? You guys need to stretching back a little bit? It's okay. It's okay. Good morning. It is truly my honor and privilege to be here today. And I am a proud member of PMEA, and I also have the honor of serving as the national president for the National Association for Music Education, which represents 53,000 music educators across the country. It really is wonderful to be here. And before I get into my remarks, please help me thank Mark, the PMEA staff, our PMEA leadership. They make this happen every year. It is because of PMEA that we are able to continue to have such a presence in the legislature here in Pennsylvania, and many, many thanks to everybody. I also want to take a moment to recognize a special guest who is here from our national office. Amanda Carhuse is the National Assistant Executive Director for Advocacy and Public Policy for NAFME, and she came to us just about a year ago and is doing amazing work. She is a rock star for us, and she is highly respected across all facets of education, and we are thrilled to have her here at NAFME working on behalf of music educators everywhere. Amanda, thank you for being here. So I've been asked to talk about the importance of advocating at a national, state, and local levels. And obviously that's a lot, and we're going to condense this down in just a couple of minutes. At the federal level, we are advocating and focusing on Title I funds, Title II funds, Title IV Part A funds that support well-rounded education in the Every Student Succeeds Act. We are also currently supporting legislation that supports teacher retention and recruitment, and also legislation in the GAME Act, which is the Guaranteed Access for Arts and Music Education Act that supports the use of Title I funds for our country's most underprivileged schools and students. At the state level, you have already heard about the asks that we are asking our state legislature to support: basic funding for the education subsidy, support for fair charter school funding, and increase in the allocation for the state system of higher education. There are many priorities that need to take place here at the state level. All of these legislation asks at the federal level and at the state level are important, and the work being done by PMEA and NAFME, by our staff and our leadership, is critical in helping to make our classrooms a vibrant and inclusive place where all students and all music have a place to belong. As much as advocacy at the national and state levels is critical, in my opinion, it is really the advocacy at the local level that has the greatest impact. They say that all politics are local, and this is the advocacy that works at our homes, at my home, at your home, in our own school districts, and this is critical. NAFME and PMEA have wonderful resources to support music educators in their important work at their home, in their buildings, in their schools, in their communities. It is up to us to move that work forward, to make sure that our students have the opportunities to create, perform, respond, and connect through music. For me, advocacy is really about the art of building relationships. It's about building strong and lasting relationships, and there are two critical ingredients that go into this: communication and trust. And right now, communication is a little bit of a struggle in this room, but I appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. But it is really up to each of us to make sure our messages are clear, concise, and that we deliver on what we say we will do. Building trust is a two-way street, and we have to hold up our end as music educators, our end of the bargain, by ensuring that our music classrooms are open to all students. Our curriculum is relevant and representative of the students in our schools and communities, and our students have equitable access to our music programs. We are here today because we already know about the power of music and all that it does to unlock our potential and provide a voice to the voiceless and a home to the homeless. We must continue our work at all of these levels, national, state, and local levels, to realize our vision where all people are seen, heard, and feel they belong throughout their entire lifelong experiences in music. Today is a very special day for us, not only because we're here on March 1st for our Music Education Advocacy Day, but it's also the first day of Music in Our Schools Month. And little did I know when I was elected national president, you get the privilege of picking the theme. More like you have to pick the theme for Music in Our Schools Month. And I stewed on this. This is the 38th anniversary of Music in Our Schools Month, but it's really the 50th anniversary because it was started in New York as a music education day in honor of Joe Sugar. And now it is in the 38th year as a national program. So when I thought about this, I wanted this theme to get it just right. And my daughter, who is a marketing major at Penn State University, really helped me. She said, "Dad, I know you want to talk about togetherness and belonging." And it really came down to music is all of us. Music is inside all of us. Music is in our lives. Music fills our lives. So that is why I chose this theme, because music has a unique way of bringing people together, creating a sense of belonging, and cultivating relationships. We've already heard about many of the inherent values and virtues of music and how it moves us emotionally, intellectually, physically, and spiritually to pathways of self-discovery. Every person on the planet needs music and its indescribable power to instill meaning in our lives. Music truly is all of us and is inside of all of us, and it should not only be celebrated in March, but it should be celebrated all year long. Thank you. In closing, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to everyone who is here today, the students, teachers, directors, leaders, membership, staff of PMEA, staff of NAFME. I offer my sincere thanks, and to every music educator in Pennsylvania and across the country who is making a difference in the lives of children every day. I have seen firsthand the power that music has to change lives and to save lives. We must not stop our enduring pursuit of one of life's greatest gifts until everyone knows and feels music's power in their lives. Thank you. At this time, I also have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce the next speaker, who happens to be my boss. Dr. Maureen Letcher is the principal at Hollidaysburg Area Senior High School and is currently serving as the state president of the Pennsylvania Elementary and Secondary School Principals Association. She is a staunch advocate for her students and is a supporter of music and the arts in education. If it weren't for Dr. Letcher's support, there's no way that I would have had the opportunities that I had had. And on a personal note, she is a great friend, mentor, and is deeply committed to the well-being of everyone she knows. So please help me welcome Dr. Maureen Letcher.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here today as a representative for the Pennsylvania Principals Association and as an advocate for music education. This truly is an honor. Music education, what does it do for our students? Wow. And answering that question, I could go on and on and on, but I won't. I promise I'll keep it short. I am very lucky to work with Scott Sheehan, the president of the National Music Education Association, as I may be biased because I've worked with Scott for the past 14 years and have found Scott to be the whole package. He not only instills the love of learning in his students, he not only has them making music, but he has them loving music. The entire community is completely supportive and bought into the music program at Hollidaysburg, and this is because of Scott. There's a joke in Hollidaysburg that HAMPA, our Hollidaysburg Area Music Parents Association, is the most powerful association and parent program in the community. It's not the football boosters, it's truly the music parents, and this is for good reason. All jokes aside, though, I see every day firsthand what music does for our students. When students are involved in music, they find their people. They find their niche. They find they belong. Our band directors and music teachers instill a love for music and education in their students. As there is continuous talk about the educator shortage, those that instill love for learning through music are those that often encourage students to go into the field of education. We most certainly do not want to lose this. This ties into the need for the increase of allocations to the state system of higher education. We need this funding to support our amazing students who will become the future educators of our youth. Along with this, we need to start at the school district level to increase basic education subsidy funding for our school districts. Districts know what their communities need. Therefore, they should have the discretionary power on how these funds are used. Hollidaysburg has been asked to be part of the Learning 2025 initiative, which is nationwide, which focuses on providing students with the skills they need through creative means in order for them to be successful in the future. Music programs do this. Music brings out the creativity in a child. Music exercises the brains in ways nothing else does, and music makes students feel like they belong. In an article written by NAFME member Bryn Cowett titled "Leadership in the Music Classroom," it stated, In a music class, students' skill level do not always correspond to their leadership ability. This means that all students, regardless of their musical talent or experience, have the potential to develop the essential skills of collaboration, reflection, and the ability to serve and become emerging leaders in roles, including drum major, section leader, or the unofficial role of leader in any capacity on the ensemble. I couldn't agree more. Part of the 2025 skills include communication, leadership, and work ethic. Music teaches this and instills this in our youth. I can't emphasize enough how often I have seen the music program change a child's life for the better. They find their people, they belong. Confidence is instilled in ways different from anything else. Research shows that one of the most important aspects of a child succeeding in school is their connection to the school. There is no price tag to place on a child connecting to a school, which is often done through the music program. Without this program, many children would not find that connection and consequently would not succeed. I can't emphasize enough the importance of music in our children's lives and how much I support music education. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Scott and Dr. Letcher. Appreciate your comments from your perspective. So with us today, we have another special guest. Miranda Moore is currently Miss Central Pennsylvania and has also been Miss Lancaster County. She has a special place in her heart and her life for music and what music education did for her. We're so happy that she is part of the PMEA family and has joined us on a variety of initiatives in the past year. It's my pleasure to welcome Miss Central Pennsylvania, Miranda Moore.
Good morning. I was showing off. I have my PMEA pin on my sash here today, so I'm the real deal, I promise. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. My name is Miranda Moore, and I am currently serving as Miss Central Pennsylvania 2023 in the Miss Pennsylvania Scholarship Foundation. In addition to serving in this role, I am a full-time environmental engineer and sustainability professional in Harrisburg, as well as an online part-time student at the University of Pennsylvania studying social impact strategy. What you may be wondering is why I'm here today advocating for music education, and the very simple answer to that question is that I would be none of the things that I just listed if it weren't for music education. When I was 11 years old, I picked up a clarinet for the first time in my middle school band class, and I turned 25 next week, and I haven't put that clarinet down since. Being a part of music has given me so much more than I could ever describe. When I was in middle school, I moved across the country, and band gave me a community, and it gave me friends that I really needed. When I was in high school, I joined the jazz band, the concert band, the marching band, and music gave me my favorite mentors in my high school band directors. It gave me teamwork and leadership skills, and it enabled me to ultimately succeed in college, where I ignored the advice of my academic advisor when they said I couldn't do marching band and engineering courses, and I did both, and in doing that, it gave me the opportunity to travel the country to support my now two-time consecutive national championship football team, the University of Georgia Bulldogs, as part of the Red Coat Marching Band. I had to throw that in there. And since then, and most recently, music has given me the opportunity to perform my talent of clarinet on the Miss Pennsylvania stage, and in turn, to have the opportunity to travel the state of Pennsylvania speaking with students in schools about why music education is so important. When I talk with students, I really like to focus on the transferable skills that music education gives you, and about the things I discussed, the teamwork, the leadership, the time management that you're able to apply in your future. The vast majority of students who benefit from music education will not go on to become music educators. They will go on to become all kinds of things. I'm thinking of my friends. We have speech language pathologists, we have engineers, we have data analysts, we have nonprofit CEOs, and more importantly than what they do, they will succeed in whatever professional, personal, or academic endeavors they choose because of the skills and the opportunities that they've gained through music education. So today, and hopefully throughout the month and year and your entire life, when you're thinking about why music education is so important and why we should be putting funding and resources toward ensuring that every student in the state of Pennsylvania has the opportunity to pursue a music education, I hope that I can serve as just one example of someone whose life has been so tremendously impacted by music education that I will always come back to advocate for the importance of music in our schools. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Scott Cullen. I am a teacher in the Octorara Area School District, and I am the president of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association. And first, I would like to thank Mark Despotakis for all of his efforts in coordinating PMEA's Advocacy Day for 2023 and encouraging all of us to be advocates for music education across the Commonwealth. And I would also like to thank everyone who has shared their wonderful and powerful remarks and thoughts about music education, and how appropriate as well that we bring attention to music in our schools on this, the first day of Music in Our Schools Month. As the president of the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association, I understand that one of my primary responsibilities is to strive to fulfill the mission of PMEA. And our mission is to advance comprehensive and innovative music education for all students through quality teaching, rigorous learning, and meaningful music engagement. I believe the most important aspect of that statement is all students. Regardless of where they go to school, all students deserve a high-quality music education. Music is a fundamental and universal part of the human experience, and as such, is essential to a complete educational experience. It has the power to build, unbuild, and rebuild powerful thoughts and ideas in all people around the world. Our legislative recommendations hope to address the financial inequalities inherent in the educational system. We hope for a future that includes a clear path for students wishing to embark on a career in music education. And we desire a framework that helps our teachers create standards-based lessons with support and inspiration from an arts liaison here in Harrisburg. There is no one single way to address the needs of all students. Only through listening and cooperation can the musical needs of our students truly be met. Listening is one of the most important skills all students learn in their music classes. Music teaches us not only to hear what someone else has to say, but it can also deepen our understanding and provide tools on how to respond. In my primary role as a music educator in the Octorara Area School District, I have experienced firsthand the powerful impact music education has on our students. I have enjoyed conversations with students who rarely speak up during the day because music classes offer the opportunity to explore something truly personal and meaningful. I relish the moments when students tell me about how they are making a difference in their communities through their musical offerings. Not a year goes by without an Octorara alum telling me about how they kept making music in college and how grateful they are for the opportunity to make personal connections with new friends through their shared interest in making music. And I've heard stories from parents about their own experiences when they were students taking music classes in their own schools and how those experiences created lasting, positive memories that bring joy to them to this day. Music is history, music is beauty, music is joy, it is passion, and it is love. Music is our great inheritance as a human race, and it is our responsibility to pass it on to the next generation. Thank you for being here today and hearing the powerful messages from our speakers. I implore you to show your support for music education in all of your communities across the Commonwealth. Please have a wonderful day and enjoy all of the amazing student performances that you'll hear today and throughout the month of March. Thank you.